Okay, so hold on, let me X this out. Okay, so welcome to Empower Lee's team call for August 30th. Um, Before we get started, there's a couple things that I want to cover that are coming in September. So the first thing, if you didn't see, is that the All Access Challenge Pack sale has been extended through September. I'm hoping that they're going to continue that on, but at least that's a huge opportunity for us in September, especially if you have a lot of people that you've talked to that it wasn't the right time for over summer and they're kind of getting back from traveling and because they're back in school and they're, having more time to like need a routine to take care of themselves, right? Um, and it's also kind of the time of year where typically people, get in that like fall comfort food, baggy clothes type of a thing to where you can talk more about, people are crazy about New Year's resolutions, right? But like, why wait until a new year to start making changes when they can make changes now and be in a totally different place come a new year, right? So thinking about talking about those kinds of things with people can often be really helpful. The next thing is that our Super Saturday is coming up on September 23rd. So I'm going to be posting that link in the team page later this week. But make sure that you get registered and get to events. Events are so hugely important. I think most of you have been to one, or probably all of you. Chrissy, have you been to one yet? I don't think you are part of it yet. No. Okay. Well, Super Saturdays are extremely important, but I wanted you to think about this in a greater scale than just yourself, is that if you desire to have your coaches getting to events and you desire people on your social media to see that this is something real, it is so important to get to those events, to talk about them, to share about them, so that people see that this is something other than you just posting sweaty selfies hanging out behind your computer screen, right? And also just being at events really kind of fires you up, being around, a positive community and learning things and growing and getting top tips from people that are speaking and hearing transformation stories and the opportunity to work out. So that is September 23rd. So make sure that you get registered. I am going to be probably heading to the Clearwater one. And then September 5th, Hard Labor launches, and that is the new workout with Sagi. And if you guys didn't see, for every Hard Labor workout that is streamed, Beachbody is going to donate $1 to the Red Cross Fund to aid in, to help Texas. So make sure that you post about that on your social medias, that you post about that in your challenge groups, and that you plan on doing it yourself, because that's awesome that we can give back in multiple ways, right? You can go ahead and take that graphic right out of the team page if you want and copy the text and, add to it and post that right to your challenge groups. That's what I did. So, okay. You guys know me. I'm a deep thinker. I'm extremely reflective. And I just had some things that have been kind of on my mind lately, as typically, this time of year, things are a little bit slower. A lot of us have been really busy over summer. Routines are changing for fall, especially if you're a parent. Things can kind of get crazy. And sometimes we kind of get into like a mid-year slump. Like there's not, we're coming off that post-summit high. We're headed into, the 2 quarters of the year that lead us up to end of year goals. So this is not a time to step back. This is a time to speed up, because what you do now is not only going to line you up for end of year goals, but it is going to line you up for the first quarter of next year and even the first half of next year, depending on how consistent you are with everything, right? So, we only have Chrissy. You're the kind of new one. So you guys all know the importance of the consistency of the basics. But I just wanted to give you a couple things to think about. So a lot of times, and this can be you, or this can be somebody that you are eventually mentoring. And I think it's just a really important thing to think about, is that the basics of this business never change. So sharing on social media, inviting to your challenge groups, running challenge groups, adding value, helping people, sharing the coaching opportunity, bringing people into our team to help them grow, right? Those things always stay the same, always. I'm coming into almost my 4th year of this business, and what I do on a daily basis, none of that has changed except for my responsibilities of running and mentoring a team, right? But what I want you to understand is that what that means is that the only thing that is ever going to change in this business is you. And so if you think about it that way, the thing that you need to be most obsessive about doing is personal growth. And I mean, eat, sleep, and breathe it. Like, if you hung out with me, you'd know that, like, at all blank hours of the day, I have podcasts running. I have, team calls streaming. I have whatever I can get my hands on that I'm listening to, because anything that you collect is not only going to be helping you, but it's going to be helping you help the people that you're eventually going to mentor. And they're not always going to have the same struggles or issues, or, maybe they struggle with time management or sacrifice or whatever it is. But like, the more knowledge that you can collect and get your hands on, the better off you are going to be, but the better off that you're going to be for the people that you are trying to help, if that makes sense. So just remember that is that the most important thing you need to be focusing on for you to grow is yourself. And with that said, I'm totally thinking of September being called for our team Self-Growth September, because I really want to focus on that being super prevalent, because I think it's really easy to put personal development on the back burner, to think I just keep hitting walls. I'm struggling with the same thing. I don't understand why I can't find people, whatever. I feel like I don't have things to share on social media. Like, guys, that all goes back to your personal development, your motivation, your consistency, your time management, your drive. All of those things are all coming from the input of what you're putting in, right? And where you're starting out at in terms of habits and mindset is extremely different across the board for everybody, right? So your job is just to keep becoming a better version of you. Now, with that said, you do hit struggle points in this business, and I'm a great example this month. So this was something I was thinking about too, and I was talking to Brad Bizjack this morning, actually, and we were talking about sometimes how, like, we hit a wall, and like, you've helped one person or 2 people or 3 people, and that's not what you had set out to do this month, right? And typically when we hit a wall, or we hit a roadblock, or we hit a struggle, or we're getting a ton of no's or a ton of objections, it is normal for us to go into this freak out phase, or to take it personally and think, I'm not good enough, I'm doing something wrong, I'm saying something wrong, why does nobody want my help? Really? It has nothing to do with you. I want you to remember that. That's just the business. Sometimes it is hard. There is people saying no. You have to expect that that's going to happen. But I want you to become really observant of what your mindset is like when you struggle, because that's either going to be your biggest downfall, or it's going to be your best key to resiliency and bouncing back fast. And the faster you learn to bounce back, the better off you're going to be in the long run, because it's not going to be the first time, and it surely won't be the last time that you struggle with something, right? So that resilience piece is so huge. So it's like literally as simple as early on in this month, I had 6 people that were ready to sign up with sign up steps. We had talked all about their goals. I was so excited to help them. And then one by one, back out, back out, back out. And it like crushes my heart when people say no to themselves, right? It crushes me to think about the potential of what could happen for them if they said yes. But I had to step back and think, this is not about me. This is on their own time. It's not right for them right now. And there's other people out there that need my help, right? But I'm not going to lie. There was like a 2-day period where I felt really stressed out about it. I was bummed about it. Okay. So in that moment, I was not in a mindset to go out and do something better. So when you have those struggles, you either have to choose, are you going to focus on lack? Are you going to focus on struggle? Or are you going to focus on everything that's going wrong? Or are you going to raise your energy back up so you can focus on getting back out there and doing the best that you can to give to other people and to actually go in the direction that you're headed? Because either way, it's a conscious decision if you choose to stay stuck or if you choose to move forward, right? So that's where that resiliency piece comes in. And this can be in terms of Success Club or helping coaches or hitting a really big goal. Like, it works the same way all across the board. But that resiliency is so huge. And I just wanted to stress, don't take it personally. Like, that was a big thing for me, was like, everything went wrong. I would always take it and internalize it and be like, I suck. I'm doing this wrong. I'm whatever. Like, I could have done that better. Like, try not to internalize it and look at the facts of what that situation really is. Because if you don't internalize it and take it upon yourself, you're going to quickly be able to shift and see, like, I just need to take different actions, right? The next thing that I wanted to say, there's two more things actually, is that a long time ago, I'm telling you this because I really just kind of want to nail in the importance of the basics. And that if you can really nail down the basics, that there is literally nothing that you cannot do in this business. Because if you break it down to the simple habits, those are the things that you're going to do over and over. Those are the things that you're going to find people who want this like you do and teach them to do over and over. And that's going to continue to duplicate. So if you can share, if you can be a product of the product, if you can learn how to share on social media, how to form, how to invite, how to connect, how to run challenge groups, how to help people have results, and how to bring people into the opportunity, then you can teach anybody else to do that too. And when I realized that, it took a lot of the fear out of it for me, in terms of being like, I don't know if I can lead somebody else. I don't know if I can help somebody else. I don't know if somebody is going to get this like I do, right? Because you break it down and it's just basics. You're doing the basics and growing you, and then you're finding people who want this like you do, and you're teaching them the basics, and you're teaching them to grow themselves. And it is literally as simple as that. From point A to wherever the hell you want to go in this business, and whatever you want to do. And so I got to thinking tonight about what is something that may resonate with you, about kind of nailing in the importance of those basics. And always for me, it goes back to having a vision, right? And I remember a long time ago, I was on a call with Keith Callahan, and he talked about this story, maybe when he was only a few years into coaching and wasn't super successful yet, and how he had gone on a vacation with his family. And I think he said he was at the Cape, and he was driving down the road past all these big, pretty, fancy houses with all these yachts, parked on the docks of these homes. And he was like, nobody was home. Nobody was actually using the boats or enjoying the things that they had, because most of these people were working jobs, sacrificing time from the people they love and doing the things they love. Because the one biggest gift that we have with this opportunity is not only to be fulfilled and to have purpose and to help people, but what this business will give you is not only time freedom, but financial freedom, right? So you get to actually enjoy what you're creating and what you want to do with the people that you love. And there is really not many opportunities in this world that can give you the ability to do both, right? So really kind of nailing this in is I want you to think about the things that are hard in your life right now, the things that are a struggle for you. And maybe it's finances, maybe it's anxiety, maybe you hate going to your job, maybe you hate being away from your children, maybe whatever those things are for you, because I guarantee when I say what's hard in your life, you know exactly what it is, because I did. I want you to think about when you sit down and you're struggling to get focused or to do your work, or ask yourself if it really matters, or you think about giving up if you're struggling. And I want you to ask yourself, what hard would you rather live with? Because for me, the hard of discipline and the hard of showing up was way less than the hard of what my life could potentially look like right now if I hadn't chose that hard day in and day out over the past 3.5 years. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. And then the last thing that I really want to say, well, actually, I had planned to kind of just quickly go over how I plan out my months, but this is something that I want you to think about, especially if you are somebody that is struggling to share the coaching opportunity or really see the longer term vision that you can lead your own team or find people that want this opportunity like you do. And that is all those things that I just mentioned. You have no idea the hards that people are living right now. My hard is different than every single person on this call, as is yours to every single person that you have the ability to connect with, right? And it is not our job to decide who deserves the opportunity to change that or not. It is just our job to put that opportunity in front of people, and the ones who are like us that want a different life and are willing to work for it are going to run with it, right? So when you get out there and you think about doing your invites and connecting with people and sharing, and maybe there's a lot of fear in sharing the opportunity, because I know that there was for me for a really long time, is that I have to gut check myself and think, it is not my place to be selfish and decide what somebody else's future is going to look like. It is just my job to give them the opportunity to change it if they so desire to, right? And the beautiful thing is that whether you are helping somebody as a challenger, as a coach, you are helping them have the opportunity to change their life, right? And it's extremely fulfilling. And maybe right now you only have customers, so I want you to think, how great does it feel when you get a message and somebody says, I have more energy, I feel more confident in pictures with my kids, my cholesterol is down, I fit in my clothes again, I feel so energetic, I'm so happy, I'm so confident, whatever. And you get these messages and it like hits your heart and you think, wow, like, I had the courage to invite this person and now they feel better in their life, right? And that's like the best feeling. Now think about that on a greater scale, is that when you start to have coaches join under you and you start to see that what they're doing with this opportunity is impacting their life, it's a feeling of purpose and fulfillment on a way greater scale, because you are literally giving somebody, like I said, the opportunity to change the course of their life. Now, you can't control what people do. No, you can't control who does or not. That's not your job to. It's just your job to give that gift, and then be that example. And that is what I'm going to get into now before we go do our invites, because leading by example, guys, is everything. Someone told me really early on is that your team will never be willing to do something you're not willing to do. And that is not saying that you have to be perfect. It is not saying that you have to be the most organized person, the most whatever person, because I surely am not, right? But I do consistent basics and have consistent non-negotiable goals that work for me, and systems and plans. And you continuously, one at a time, create these things for yourself so that you have this to give to other people. Now you're blessed to have a tribe and a network where you have all of these calls and these trainings and these systems, right? That you don't have to go out and do all the hard work to create that unless you're ready to take that next step. But leading from the front in terms of you being on your journey, you sharing that, your personal growth, you kind of having a game plan of how you go about your months and things like that are extremely important, because like I said earlier on, is that if you learn how to do something, you can teach somebody else how to do something. And the cool thing is that no matter how far you go, there's always going to be more to learn. There's always going to be ways to get better and progress and shift and change. And it's constantly exciting because it's new growth and it's getting better, and you can share all those things, but it starts with nailing down the basics, because if you can't nail down the basics, you can't teach somebody else the basics, right? And at the end of the day, this is one of the hardest parts of the business, and I don't usually talk about stuff like this, but it sucks when you have somebody come in and you emotionally invest in their goals, in their dreams, and you so badly want to see somebody succeed and they give up on themselves. And so for me, I've seen that a lot over the past 3.5 years, right? And the thing for me is that I gut check myself and I say, have I done everything that I could possibly do to lead by example, to show somebody what's possible, and to give them that opportunity to take these basics and match it with personal growth and do the same thing? And if I can say yes, then I know I've done my job no matter what the outcome is. And I pray that I have positively impacted their life in some way. And that is the extent that you kind of have to take leading by example to. So this is not to say go beat yourself up about the things that you're not doing or the things that you struggle with or the things that you're not consistent with, because I am not perfect and I didn't even hit Success Club until today. Hello. But That is to say that you can go to bed at night knowing that you did something today to move forward, to do your best, to be that example, and to get a little bit better in your personal growth, right? Now, with that said, I just wanted to quickly cover planning out your month so that you guys have a game plan going into September if this is not something that you already do. And that is every single month. And you guys know I'm old school. I use pen to paper. I have a desktop calendar that sits right next to my desk. It's pretty with flowers just because I like looking at it. But every single month, it's the exact same thing. And I have been doing this for like 2.5 years now, ever since I went to New Leadership Conference, and Melanie Mitro talked about how she planned her months. First Monday of the month, new coach boot camp. Second Monday of the month, challenge group prep week. Third Monday, challenge group starts. Fourth Monday, a free group runs. And the last Sunday of every single month now is a sneak peek, right? And those are the 5 things that I put on my calendar every single month, non-negotiable, no matter what, because the thing is, if you have sneak peeks to add to now, you have new coach boot camp you can add to. You don't have to create those things yourself because we have them, right? But what you do have to do is make sure that you are running a challenge group. And I highly suggest that you are running free groups so that you have an ability to connect with new people and build relationships and add value and have people learn to trust you. Because for me, typically the way that I run my month becomes like a funnel for me. So a lot of the people that are new and adding into your network will end up in your free groups, and then you can talk to them and build that relationship and invite them to an upcoming challenge group. A lot of those people that are coming out of your challenge groups and getting a great experience, having a great transformation, those are people that you can share the opportunity with. A lot of them are going to say, no, not now, maybe for 6 months, maybe for 10 months, maybe forever, but whatever. As long as you are running those things and you are helping new people, you can guarantee that your business is going to kind of start running like a choo-choo train full of fuel, and you're going and you're doing what you need to do. And it's an uphill battle for a while, but at some point it's going to become like second nature to you to do these things, and they're not going to be so scary, and you're not going to second guess them. Because it's like learning to ride a bike, this business, and the things that you have to do every day. And the more that you get up on that bike and you fall off and you smash your knee into the ground and you scrape it up and you learn and you get back up and you get a little better, and eventually you learn how to balance, right? But the only way to get better and to learn how to balance is to be actually doing these things consistently enough. So that is all. And let me see if there's anything else about planning your month. Oh, the other thing that I have to mention about that is that up until the point of when I started to do that, I used to like literally run my months however. Like I was like, I'm just going to run a free group now, and I'm going to run a challenge group there. And that's like what I said about not thinking just about you, is that you have to be able to teach these things to somebody else at some point. So the more that you lean into getting consistent and planning those things for yourself, the easier it's going to be down the road to teach those to other people, right? And that's it. Oh, and a good thing to do is really just kind of, since we're talking about all this, and to do it in a loving way of, how we can progress, because there's always areas that I know I can improve in, and that typically changes for me too. What that is, but is rate yourself. Like go through the vital behaviors, go through the stuff that we just talked about, and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. What are you doing really well? What are you struggling with? And what are some things that you can do to progress and work on those? And if you need help with ideas, reach out to me, reach out to your coach, whatever. But like the only way to get better is to pinpoint the areas that you do struggle with, and kind of focus some more of your attention there until you get good at it, right? And then you add upon it. Okay, so is there anything about running your month that anybody wants to ask, or that anybody does differently?
Dana, I have to go, but I in the group chat that just going back to what you were saying about like getting your business going and everything, that one of the things that I've started doing to sort of force myself over any sort of nerves of inviting people is to invite the people that scare me the most.
Yeah.
that intimidate me the most, that may have the most volatile responses to my, because once I sort of build up a tolerance to those sort of responses, then
It's not scary.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And what's funny is a lot of the times the people who you are afraid of and the people who have that sort of abrasive personality that scare you are the people who have the most internal struggles and the people who can benefit from it most. And that's actually who I'm going to talk to right now is a girl that, I mean, you guys know I used to work for Abercrombie, and Abercrombie, not anymore, luckily, but used to hire only pretty people. And they would promote based on your looks and all of that stuff. And a lot of times those people were incredibly intimidating. And I was terrified of all of them.
Yeah.
And but they became my friends, and some I still am terrified of. And one day I was like, I'm going to invite this girl who I think is probably the most beautiful girl on the planet, and she's scared the shit out of me, and I'm doing it because I need to get over this whole Abercrombie thing.
Yeah.
I did, and then I followed up with her a couple times, and then all of a sudden, the last, not this most recent one, but the one before that, Coach Sneak Peek, she messaged me when I had posted about it. She's like, I want to join your sneak peek. And I was like, really? And then like 2 seconds after it was over, she's like, I'm in. I'm so in. I want to do this. I'm so excited. And it was like, it floored me. So you may be surprised. Only good things can come out of inviting the people that might build up a tolerance to being scared of people and getting terrible responses. Or they may surprise you and say, like, I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden you're like, realize that they're just a normal person. So
I love that because I think that, well, you experienced it from your work experience, but I think that we all probably have those circles of people that we tend to avoid. Like, I know for me, it was like the popular girls in high school. I was like, nope, not going there, not touching that crew. Funny enough, I did have the courage to actually, when I sent a random message to a girl like 2 months ago who was in that popular crew, and she's in one of my challenge groups now.
See? And Kelly Riley, I think you were one of those people for you were the popular girl in high school that she was afraid of. So
yeah.
Oh, little Miss Kelly.
I was
Really, Spencer, weren't you or there was someone else you gave an example on a call about somebody you on another call that you were scared of and then she's joined or something.
Who?
You said that I think you were scared of someone else and then they joined.
Oh, yeah. I've been scared of lots of people that have ended up being coaches for me. This other girl who was like this, like super hippie, and they scare me too, because I feel like they like nothing to do with like anything mainstream, but I did it anyways because I like sort of that like terrified feeling. I don't know.
It's funny because you're a lot like Laura Gallup isn't scared really that much.
Yeah.
And
no, we are. We're terrified, but
yeah. No, it's awesome. I'm channeling it.
Do it.
No, I've been doing much better. I really laugh at myself at where I was a year ago and where I'm now.
It's a world of difference.
I just channel you. Oh my God.
Kelly, I'm curious of your response of this, but would you agree that you kind of like before you go into it, like totally have to disconnect from what the response is going to be, and you're just like, I'm just going to hit send. Like, I don't care what they're going to say back. I just have to know that I could do this and just do it. And like, I don't know.
No, I'm like the opposite. I like connect to it because there was like, I forget what it was, but back to what you're saying about personal development. Somebody was saying it's the MWF motivational podcast on Apple, on iTunes. And one of the things that he was saying is use your rejections to fuel your fire.
Yeah.
And so I like almost like get excited about like seeing what they're going to say now. And I'm still so afraid to do it. Like the like almost like handshaking is there, but I've gotten to the point, and I think that Abercrombie sort of conditioned me with this a lot because we would have a lot of really intense store visits with like the CEO of the company and things like that, and you just didn't have an option but to do it, and there was no choice in any of it. And when I opened stores overseas, you had to recruit and hire a certain amount of people, and you had to recruit every single person in person on the streets in a foreign language. And you didn't have a choice. You had to open your store, and you couldn't open the store without people. So I sort of think of this business as my stores, and I don't have a choice. Like, I have to run this business. I need to make money, especially now. And if I want to do it, I have to talk to people, no matter how intimidating they are. And if you're recruiting these like 6'5" gorgeous blonde German men in German and screwing up your German the way that I have done. I recruited one guy one time and was recruiting him for like a night shift, and I recruited him for a naked shift. I had said by accident. I told people, I like asked one of these guys at one point to get me a rubber band out of the cabinet, and apparently I asked him to get me condoms. So like I've like gotten over this, like I still have the fear. That's the weird thing, is I still have this like terrified feeling, but I've gotten really good at just ignoring it and seeing what happens. So
well, I think the most important thing that you just said there is well, here's the difference between a regular job and us as coaches, is that when this is your own business and you are a CEO, is that you do have a choice. But what you're saying is, I don't give myself a choice because this is my business and it has to work for me. And I think that that's really the mentality that you have to have, is that you can't not do it.
Yep. Okay, I'll call this girl, but I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
I
Okay.
have a question, Dana, about free
Yeah.
groups, if you have a second.
Mm-hmm.
So listening to the National Wake Up Call this week, and then I listened to the talk you gave a day or so ago today. So I have a couple different free group templates that I have that are all different themes.
Yeah.
Was the National Wake Up Call saying that she puts no matter what the theme under the same grouping, or does she keep the themes separate and then just when she reruns them, she deletes the
This
information?
past call, this
like
past
what
week?
do you?
She does the same theme group every single month. She just changes the banner and deletes all the posts, which I do that for our new coach boot camp and things. And I'm going to do that like with this is my whole thing with free groups, is that for the first like year and a half, I ran the same free group all the time. But my network was so small when I started, and I was consistently growing it so much that there was always a ton of new people that had never seen it that would always join it, if that makes sense. And then maybe like at some point, like the first time I ran that healthy eating on a budget group, I had like 400 people add to it. And then towards, the time when I was like, okay, need to do something different, was like I was only finding maybe 30, 40 people that wanted to join it, or it was like a lot of the same people coming back again. So what I've been working on now, and obviously it takes time, so I've kind of been progressively just doing it 1 month at a time, is that I'm planning on having 3 to 4 free group outlines. Like I have the Master Your Morning now. I have the Healthy Eating on a Budget. I ran a Cut the Crap group, but I really didn't like it. But like things that you like and you enjoy and that you are passionate about. And like, this can be anything. Like if you're a fashionista, like run a friggin' fashion group, like whatever it is that you love doing, because when you are doing something that you're lit up and excited about, you're going to bring that passion and that energy, and people are going to be like, this girl, she's like on fire. Like I want to be a part of whatever she's doing. Right. Or she has so much value to add or value to offer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plan, to run them progressively. Like 1 month, I'm going to run the first one, and then the second, and then the third, and then repeat. So it's going to be every single third or fourth month will be something different. And then they'll start over so that there's time gaps in between them. And I am going to share those groups to the team page. So if you want to take it and make it your own, you can do that. And it would be awesome if you guys want to share yours too. That way everybody can kind of take it and tweak it and use it and whatever.
So are you going to keep those groups separate, or are you going to have them all funnel into the same mass and then every month you'll delete
I'm going to have a separate group for each
theme
one. So like I'm going to keep my Master Your Morning group open, and delete all the posts for that. And then when I promote it, it'll be the same thing. And same for the other groups. That's what I was doing with my healthy eating on a budget group, because a lot of times people are going to rejoin, and it doesn't hurt anybody if they added to it once. A lot of times people are so busy they didn't pay attention to half of it anyways, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know, and then they keep seeing your name pop up and things shared, and it's just kind of a reinforcement of like, hey, this girl has things to add. You know. So yeah, I'm going to keep the same groups. And it's a total pain in the arse to delete groups. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, any other questions about planning your month? About anything? No. Okay.
I want to take a look at that Asana call that I saw Kelly ran one. I want to look at that, but I don't know where the link is.
I have a Google Doc actually of all our team calls. I can post it in the team page if you want.
I've been trying to, like always, forever, wrap my head around some sort of system, and I feel like every day I get closer that I do it. But especially now that I'm trying to integrate Instagram so that I'm not sitting at my computer for 3 or 4 hours, you know?
Well, I mean, you have to do whatever works best for you. I mean, I functioned off of notebook paper for 3 years.
I don't mean that. I mean a power hour. And I don't mean a tracker. I mean a system like first I do what you've done with the power hours.
Yeah.
But something that kind of makes that more succinct so I know exactly who I'm talking to, and then also integrating my activity with Instagram. Because what I'm doing now is, so I was just doing Facebook, all Facebook. Now I'm posting on Instagram and taking that post and moving it physically to Facebook, but I'm doing all of my private messaging on Facebook. And I think I need to start focusing more on Instagram, but I can't do 2 power hours and have 2 private messages going. I'm like not 2 people. So
yeah, but I think that a lot of us now are going to be, I mean, I'm going to have,
Maybe every other day you do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
you could
figure it
switch
out.
days. One day you do Facebook, one day you do Instagram. Yeah, for sure. For me, I do my power hour always on Facebook, and then I usually spend about 20 minutes on Instagram now, because I'm really trying to branch into there, and at some point I feel like I'm going to shift to there. And then I am going to have some people speak on team calls about Instagram, because the way that Facebook is changing, I think it's really important for us all to kind of shift and be accessible and seen on multiple sites, because let's be real, Facebook is not what it was 3 years ago. So I wouldn't freak out about it. It's a new habit. It's a new platform. It's going to take consistency, getting comfortable with, and working it into your schedule, just like it does when you first start doing power hours, and it's awkward and it's weird and it's time consuming. You know what I mean? So I like Sari's idea is good. If you don't like
but
mine.
that involves that C word of consistency that I need to get going first.
That will make or break all of us. Yeah. Well, you have to find what works for you to be driven enough to be consistent, because I feel like a lot of times the lack of consistency comes from overwhelm, right? Or lack of planning, or, you know, lack of managing time to actually schedule it in. Because I know that was the biggest part of it for me, because I was never great at time management. So, yeah. But we will be having some calls on Instagram too. So hopefully that will be helpful to kind of narrow down like where to be spending your time and what to be doing on there, so that it's most effective, which I think is really helpful for it to become a habit, is to actually know what we're doing, right? Okay. Any other questions before we do our invites? No. Are you guys falling asleep? Okay. Is anybody more excited to do invites now after our chat? Yes? No? I hope so. I am. There we go, Ashley. Oh, and there's one last thing that I had just have to throw in there because I said this the other day on the live video, but perhaps you didn't see it, is that if you are feeling stuck, unmotivated, not wanting to send your invites or whatever that feeling is, or you're feeling like you're in a struggle place, I want you to think about if you're thinking about this selfishly or if you're thinking about service. Because I know for me, when I tend to struggle the most is when I tend to feel like I'm stuck right now, or I'm whatever, or I'm not, moving fast enough, or things aren't happening or whatever, like, and you get in that mindset, right? And you get stuck. Is it like you totally have to reshift your mindset of like, stop being selfish and just go find other people to help. And as a new coach, I saw this quote that said, when you feel helpless, help someone. And that's like always been my gut check reminder to me of like, if I'm struggling, am I being selfish right now? Am I thinking about me? Am I thinking about my struggle or my whatever? And if I am, then I'm like, okay, well, you need to stop thinking about you because really it's not about you, and then go get to work. And always taking action is the best thing to snap you out of one of those stuck places, because if you sit there and you think about it and you're like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I haven't done anything, I'm struggling, I'm beating myself up, it sucks, whatever. The only thing to get you out of that funk is to go do what you need to do. And typically for me, if I'm in a weird funk like that for a day, it is a power hour first and posting a killer post on social media. And then I'm like right back to myself. So just a little word of the wise.
Dana, I have a question. You were talking in the past about a UK sneak peek. Should I be sending our normal sneak peek to them? Because I have someone I met with today about it.
I would just send them your normal video. I personally have been working to find people on Instagram and on Facebook now, just adding them to my network and letting them watch what I do and keeping track of their names, because that hasn't been something that I've gotten really around to thinking about making a group for. So I would just send them our sneak peek video right now, because it is going to be the same no matter where they live,
And you guys, it's going to be October, like super soon. Like, I don't think, I mean, I know a lot of people are doing the whole separate, but just start forming with them, because as you know, no one jumps on this for months to come anyway.
Yeah, I met with someone today who she doesn't even know who Shaun T is, but she's looking for something. She's super busy, and she's like, I just think that this sounds like a great program, like as a customer.
Well, the workout is closed anyway. It's sold out.
What's that?
You're talking about going to the Shaun T workout?
The launch?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, they know Shaun T apparently in the UK. So she doesn't even know anything about Beachbody.
Well, he's done work over there, I think.
Well, she doesn't know anything about it. But I was telling her about this, whatever, and she started getting really excited about like the opportunity. So I don't know if she was just being polite because she's British, but she seems really excited, and I want to invite her to start Monday's training, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to like get people.
Did you talk to her about the opportunity though? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Sari said, is that it's the same thing. Like, no matter where they live, it's going to be the same training. Like if we did a sneak peek separate for them, like maybe it would be a little more in depth on certain things, because they have zero idea of like what our company is or what we do. But I mean, that's kind of all explained in our sneak peek anyways, because we have people that come into them here that have no idea what we do anyways. So I think it's just our job. You know what I mean? I think it's just our job to connect the fact that this is something that is going to be launching in their country, and it is new and it is exciting, and it's an opportunity for them because nobody else is doing anything.
Yeah. The only thing is, Megan or anybody else, if they go and sign up on the Team Beachbody UK page, which you should tell them to do, it asks for your coach ID number.
Yeah.
So it's it's like if they sign up, I think that they do that to cover so that like they're already signed up kind of under you if they decide to sign up.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the webinar, it tells you what to do. And there's actually a Beachbody UK page, and they're doing training for UK coaches in there already.
Yeah. So we have all the resources is what it comes down to, basically.
All right, let's start because I gotta.
Okay, so I personally am gonna go do follow-ups right now if you want to join me to do those first. But what I just want to stress is that anybody that you are like, think about this always at the end of the month, is that anybody you are inviting or following up with now, a lot of times it takes people a day or 2 or 5 or a week to respond, or you have to follow up again. And those are people that you have the option to talk to in September as well, right? So don't look at it just as like right now. It's always setting you up for the future as well. I'm currently inviting to my September challenge groups because you always have to be having something to invite to, right? And that's the whole point of planning your month ahead of time so that you know what you're inviting to, when it starts, and you can create that sense of urgency by giving a date, starting with inviting to that prep week since that's coming sooner. So does anybody need help with their invites, or are you guys ready to go and you just want to go for it? All right. I'm going to stop recording now.